Hey guys, Astinax here, welcome back for a new video. So today is going to be some sort of post-commentary thing, and I'm filming this with my brand new camera, by the way. I haven't talked about it, but yeah, I got a brand new camera. As you guys can probably tell from the video quality, it doesn't look like my old webcam. But today, I want to talk about the time I was in a retirement home. Not like as a resident, but as a helper. I was a volunteer, and with a group of friends, we went there and we basically entertained old people for a whole afternoon. I did that twice last year, and it was actually quite fun, but there were some things that I was like, what the fuck, and some things that really made me laugh, and, you know, I want to share my experience of it with you guys, and also, I encourage you guys greatly to join in these sort of groups, because retirement homes are, well, they look really, really boring. So, you know, if they got kids going around, seeing them, talking to them, and just, you know, being around kids, I think it does them a lot of good. So, definitely, if you've got some sort of if you've got the opportunity, go there. And also, it's actually really interesting to see how old people are if you just leave them between them. But yeah, anyway, so the first thing that happened, we got there, we got in, and then we had to you know, wash our hands and everything and not have any disease and shit like that. So we go in, and then there's this woman in the entrance hall who's just waiting here, and she's a resident, right? So we're just okay, hello. She's like, oh, who are you? And then we were I think 10, and we were just standing in front of her. We're we introduced ourselves separately, and then when the nurses came over, and she was like, oh, did you have a good night's sleep, Mrs. whatever her name was? And the woman was like, yeah, it was alright, but I got up in the middle of the night, I went out of my room, and I got lost without finding myself. And we were just like, what? And it was just so strange, the fact that she said that she got lost without finding herself. So already I was like, okay, where the fuck am I? And it's just so weird. Just I got lost without finding myself. Do you have any other ways of getting lost? Do you get lost and then oh, I find myself, but I'm still lost? It was just weird. So anyways, and then there was some sort of mix-up actually that afternoon we went there, because there was also a group, I guess it was a music school of some sort, and there was this violin class, a whole class of people who played the violin who were here, and they all played their piece, and I'm not gonna lie, it was absolutely terrible, and they were probably some of the worst violin players I have ever heard. I get it, violin is hard, especially the first few years, because it's hard to get a good sound, but honestly, this was terrible, and the students didn't even know how to tune their own instruments. The teacher had to do it, and guess what? The teacher didn't even tune them right, so it was just horrible to listen at, and it was just, and they were playing, and it lasted for probably an hour, so this was probably the longest hour of my life. And then I was also I was trying to hold my laugh in, because some really strange shit happened. So anyways, there's a moment in the piece where the violin player plays some really high-pitched note, and then there's a silence, because that's what's written on the music sheet. And then you just hear an old guy right in the middle of the silence, right after this super high-pitched note, go, "Hula!" As in, what the fuck was that? And then I was just okay, please don't laugh. And I know I felt really bad, because I'm also a music student myself, and I understand that it's hard to play in front of people, but honestly, that was just terrible. And I was just oh god, these old people literally have no limits. And then when another girl was playing, it was another girl playing another piece, I could just hear one of the old people in front of me just saying, "This is not music, this is noise." And I was just oh my god, way harsh. And you know, it reminded me of the fact that old people sometimes are kind of like kids. They have literally no limits, no filter. They will say anything. And I was just what the fuck? Where the fuck? Why am I here? I was stuck between the people, the residents of the retirement home, making them the most horrible comments, which were actually justified and true, and just the horrible violin players. I was just what the actual fuck was going on, you know? And then I was, at this point, I completely lost interest in the concert thingy. So I was just, you know, listening to the other residents' conversations. And then you got two guys, super old guys, who were probably buddies or something. And we're sitting next to each other, and they were hey, later, do you want to come to my house and I'll come to your house? And I was just how the fuck does that even make sense? And the other guy was yeah, let's do that. And I'm just what the fuck? You guys are just gonna exchange rooms. If he goes to your house and he goes to your house, well, not house, but room, you guys are just gonna exchange rooms. We won't even be together. And I was just what the fuck? And then I had to hold my laughter in, because I mean, the violin players were still playing, and I was just oh, what the fuck is happening, you know? So that goes along, that finally finishes, and then it moves on, and we were here and we helped the nurses distribute around some sort of like cookies or whatever. My friend was holding the platter and she was going around, and the platter on it had like some, I can't exactly remember, but it had food on it. And basically she goes up to this old lady and she's like, oh hey, do you want one, holding the platter, and that old lady starts eating the platter. Like, she started putting the platter in her mouth, and my friend was like, what the fuck do I do now? And it was just so fucking weird. And like, and then she came back to me and she was like, oh god, like, she was traumatized and also really laughing because, let's be honest, an old lady trying to eat a platter, that's kind of funny. But yeah, and then this pretty much ended and we were going back to get our stuff, and of course there was a dog. This has nothing to do with the fact that it's a retirement home, but I just had to put it in there because this traumatized me. We had to go get our stuff in that room, and there was a dog in that room, and I was trying to reach for my stuff, you know, to try and get it, and the dog just kept jumping and trying to bite me. So this, yeah, anyways, it was just really strange. The dog kind of looked like a sausage. So then my friend was like, because it was a narrow corridor thing, and my friend was like, hey, you got a sausage blocking the hole, and I'm just like, dude, seriously, just seriously. And then it became an inside joke because, you know, we are all very dirty-minded people. But anyways, that is it for like this small experience sharing thing. But so much stuff happened in that afternoon. Like, oh my god, there's probably other things that I just completely forgot about, but it was just so weird. So yeah, it really made me reflect on the fact that, wow, I really don't want to be old, you know, like, enjoy life. It really made me want to go and enjoy life. And you know what we did that afternoon after we went to the retirement home? My friends and I, we went to see 50 Shades of Grey. Why? I have no idea. Yes, I actually paid tickets to go and see 50 Shades of Grey. And you know what? It was super funny, and I don't really regret it. It was just really funny. Totally worth my money. But yeah, just, you know, enjoy life. And honestly, I'm not gonna say that I am against retirement homes, but if you have the option of keeping your parents or grandparents with you, please do. It seems like the retirement homes, you get bored in there quite easily. If you don't have any other options, then sure, go ahead. But, you know, like, visit the retirement home and make sure it's not some sort of terrible, weird, creepy place. But yeah, and also, old people really have no limits. But be nice to them. They're nice people. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you have any, like, weird experiences with old people or stuff like that, leave them in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe to see more, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!